Hi everybody! Welcome once again to my channel, but this time it's not me. I'm not doing a streaming. We are using my channel for a mutual aid fundraiser. I know I saw a few people in chat already who are just normal people who come to my stream who may not realize this is what we're doing today. So just wanted to do a quick intro to make sure everyone knows what's going on. We are doing a mutual aid speedrunning marathon fundraiser event for a good friend of mine who I've known since 2014, who is currently living in Texas, but with the anti-trans legislation going through the Texas legislature and things getting worse and worse in that area for her, she is raising money to move up to Colorado. She already has some work set up there and a lot of cool opportunities, but moving is really, really expensive if you didn't know. And so we're trying to do what we can to help out and raise some money to help her get somewhere where she can have a better quality of life and feel safe and cared for. You'll notice in the name of the stream title, that's the word I was looking for, we have !donate, schedule, incentives, and current run. Since this is a mutual aid event, we're not able to use Tiltify, so the donation methods you're probably used to with these kind of events don't really work in this situation. So we will be doing everything either through GoFundMe or direct through Venmo. Information about that is under !donate. And because of that, you will need to manually enter your incentive information with your donation, but hosts will walk you through that throughout the event. And the !incentives takes you to a Google Sheet where you can see what incentives are available and put your money towards those. But yeah, I just wanted to take a sec to kind of tell people what's going on and say thank you for hanging out. It's going to be an awesome 2 days. We have some ridiculously cool runs since we put this together kind of last minute rather than having submissions. Osmorn and I just reached out to people we know and people we trust with games that we wanted to see. So it's basically just 2 days of stuff that Oz and I thought would be fun to see with hosts who we like listening to talk. Speaking of which, we're starting out with one of the best in the game. If you have watched a single speedrunning event, you have probably heard her on mic. So when I say we chose our hosts because they're people who we think are good at hosting, we basically were just like, well, these people are too good for us, but for some reason they showed up anyway. And Char is near the top of the list of people who are too cool to be my friend, but show up anyway. So we will be starting out with Char Bunny on the mic. And Char, if you want to take it away and lead us into our first run, we'll get this your show on the road.
Well, thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. You can't see me, but I'm blushing right now. And hello, everyone. Welcome to day 1 of Corathon, a 2-day event raising money to help Cora escape Texas, which, as you know, is not a safe place right now for our trans friends. Throughout these 2 days, we have plenty of amazing speedrunning action, including things like Shadow of the Colossus, XX Tricky, Sonic Frontiers later today, continuing into tomorrow with QT, Stardew Valley, and plenty more. But of course, we've got a great way to start things off. I am super excited for this very first run. I hope you all have your flashlights and your vacuums ready because it's time to get this marathon underway with a 100% run of Luigi's Mansion by Elite Spud. Good luck!
Run this game for a good cause, and if everybody else is ready, I'm just going to count it down, click into my splits real quick so I don't get lost. And 3, 2, 1, go. So if you've seen speedruns by this of this game before, you probably know there's a lot of crazy things that can happen. Any percent is less than 10 minutes long. No Out of Bounds is a lot longer, but very interesting in its own right. I'll be doing 100%. 100% is the kind of get most of the stuff category. Not everything, but it does concern itself with money, which is One of the more overlooked things in the other categories of this game. For this run, we will be doing the Hidden Mansion, which is kind of like the New Game Plus version of this game. You can tell I'm in that because of the little star in the bottom right corner. That's going to follow us the entire run. I have to select that option every time I go into the menu from EGAD. We play on the Hidden Mansion for 2 reasons. One is because it makes our vacuum stronger, so all these ghosts immediately die. 10 HP, straight dead, because we do 10 damage per pull in Hidden Mansion. In normal Mansion, you'd only do 5, so sucking up ghosts is actually a lot harder, which ironically means that the New Game Plus version is easier than the base game. The other reason is that we get to skip all the cutscenes. So like the intro cutscene, not going to play because we've beaten the game already. It actually also applies to normal Mansion, but we always beat the game once on the file we're going to play on. Moving through these rooms, you're going to be catching all these orange ghosts. They're pretty easy. We're about to see a purple ghost, though, which has 20 health, which is a little harder to catch. So we have to do 2 taps away because we only do damage in 10 damage increments. These guys are a double, so we're going to try to get them both at once with the flashlight and then pull away. They both had 10 HP, so just 1 pull is necessary. Then we got 1 of each here. Get both of them and move on to this next room. Going to see a couple new types of ghost in here. First one is the green garbage ghosts, which are very fun because you can push them, which allows us to kind of make our own doubles here. So this guy's going to spawn. We're just going to push him over there. You have to acquire 100,000 gold by the end of the run for the 100% category criteria to be met. That is enough in the Japanese version of the game to achieve A rank Mansion. A rank is the highest rank you can get, which is why 100% stops there. If we were concerning ourselves with all the money, we'd be running a different category called Max Percent that literally gets everything. We run on Japanese for a couple reasons. One is that the text is faster. If you've seen a speedrun, you probably know that. It's actually slower in Area 1 because the text boxes are longer the way it works out, but it overall saves time on the text. But there's also a couple version-exclusive glitches that we're going to be doing later. Here's our first portrait ghost. Said we were concerned about money. And these guys are going to drop pearls, which is our next type of money we're going to be getting. I've been getting coins, dollar bills, gold bars. Now we've got pearls. Pearls are very important because the better you do when sucking up a portrait ghost, the more money you get. So if I suck Neville up there in 1 pull, I get a large pearl for me. Mediums and 4 smalls. The large ones are very important because they're worth 1 million each. There's 19 total in the game. So with luck, we can get all 19 of them and not really worry about money because there is a finite amount of money in this game. And to get a lot of it very quickly, we don't want to go out of our way. We want to try to get as much stuff on the way as possible. So here's our next portrait ghost, Lydia. Every portrait ghost has a gimmick. Lydia's is that you have to pull the drapery open so that she gets distracted and shows her heart. Once a ghost heart is showing, you can just pull them right in. No flashlight required for portrait ghosts. We are already at the end of Area 1, actually. So at the end of every area, there is a boss ghost. Perhaps unexpectedly, the boss ghost of Area 1 is the baby of the family. This is Chauncey. Chauncey is the big reset point for modern speedruns of Luigi's Mansion. I just missed him completely. Gotta bonk him with the ball. He's gonna do a couple text boxes for us, and we're gonna try to do probably the hardest trick in my run, called the Chauncey 1 cycle. This was found, I think, like November of last year, so pretty darn recently, especially for a game that came out in 2001. Chauncey, for years, plagued speedrunners with an inability to capture in 1 cycle. The closest you could get was like 10 HP left, and he forcibly kicks you off on a timer. And trying to do more damage than that, there's just not enough time. He kicks you off every time. So we get around that by releasing the suction from the vacuum on the exact frame he wants to kick us off, and then trying to re-engage at the exact frame after. So it's a double frame perfect trick. And I'm going to try my best to listen to that audio cue and see if I can fit it live here. I was a frame early there. He did not kick me off, but I let go a little bit too early, so he's going to go into phase 2. We're going to see the DLC of the fight. Ideally, you don't see this. You can actually do a faster 2 cycle if you don't go for the Chauncey 1 cycle tech. If you keep him above 50 HP, he doesn't do this style of the throwing the horses at you. But we're going to get an extra set here because he's below 50 HP. Clean up that last 10 or 20 HP you left him with. Intentional damage to stop that ball from hitting. And we're out of there. So that overall saves, I think, about 35 seconds on Japanese, if you get the Chauncey 1 cycle. So it is very, very worth it. But unfortunately, very, very finicky.
Still managed to get through the fight pretty cleanly. Do we have a moment for some donations?
Oh yeah, so at the end of every area, EGAD's going to talk to us. Cutscene, plenty of time.
EGAD is a character. But I wanted to shout out, we already have our first donations of the marathon. Thank you so much. Happy Bear donating $5. No comment, but that did go towards one of our incentives, SSX Tricky. And we have $25 from Bowtie So Fly. No comment there as well, but thank you so much. And I mentioned incentives. We got the DLC for that fight. That was kind of fun. But we also have DLC for the marathon. We have 2 incentives open right now that we can try to target. One is for Shadow of the Colossus coming up later today, and that is to pet the horse. That horse does so much work for us in that run. Is such a good boy and definitely deserves all of the pets. Every $10 you donate towards that incentive will earn 1 pet for the horse, up to 10 pets total. And then for SSX Tricky, that one that you heard about in the donation, we actually have an extra tracks showcase. That only needs $50 to be met, and it's already $5 of the way there. Again, there's no way to sort of mark an incentive when you donate, but when you donate, leave a comment, let us know what you'd like your donation to go towards, and we'll happily put it towards the right thing. Thanks everyone for your support so early on in the event.
Glad to see everybody contributing at the very start. Very happy to be opening this event. Hopefully we put on a good show and get even more people to donate.
I will call out that there apparently was a comment from Happy Bear, so I do want to read that out. It says, "Woohoo, Cora! Let's get you out of Texas." Thank you so much.
So this is Area 2. We're going to meet a lot more new types of enemies. Those are grabber ghosts. They're fun because you can throw them off, and also, like the trash can ghosts, garbage can ghosts, make your own doubles. So we make one of them grab us and push him off in a favorable location. Pointing my flashlight up at the ceiling to avoid things spawning. When things spawn, Luigi gets scared. When he gets scared, he goes slow because he can't move. Gonna do another thing to mitigate that here. Looking away and using the Game Boy Horror prevents him from getting scared when these guys spawn. These are Shy Guy ghosts. I did not mean to get that stuff out of the chandelier. Still made it work. They have masks, so you have to pull the mask off before you can actually use the flashlight on them. Got all 3 doubles. And now we're going to cross our fingers and hope that we win the coin flip, because this is early release. These guys are the dancers, and they just have a 50% chance or so to give you the early cycle. Didn't get it this time. Marathon luck failed me. So we're just forced to sit here and wait for them to dance a little more. Also another reset point, and you start to get really good at this game. Don't need all the pearls here, I just want to make sure I get that large one. Missed a medium and I think 3 smalls. The small ones are worth 50,000 and the mediums are worth 100, I think. So it's not critical to miss a couple of those.
How much money does Luigi have where he can just be like, yeah, 50k, that's fine, I don't need that?
Well, it's measured in G, so I'm not sure what a G is exactly. It's enough to buy a house.
It's a good point.
So when I stuffed myself against the wall there, I did something called poster skip. Poster skip allows us to pull the poster off the wall behind this fake wall, and you'll see a button back there, right there, that's normally not visible. So because we did that in between ghost spawn cycles, we didn't actually waste any time. We can just walk over here, press the button. Earlier than usual. We're about to meet our friends, the Boos. If you've played a Mario game, you probably recognize these guys. But there is one in here that you might not recognize, because he debuted in this game. This is King Boo. He wears a crown, so you can tell he's important. And he's in charge of why this mansion exists and all the stuff going on in it. And his life goal, basically, is just to scare the pants off Luigi. Which he succeeds at, honestly. If he was only trying to do that, he'd definitely be winning. But EGAD was hoping we weren't going to run into these guys, so he pulls us back into the lab and tells us all about, you know, their motives and who they are and why they're here and their history with him. But we really only care about this last thing he's going to say, is catch 5 Boos for me and I'll give you a key. Don't know why he's withholding this key from us, but he is. So we're going to backtrack a little bit because Boos can only spawn in lit rooms. This is an interesting pattern. Over here. Oh. Nope, gambled and lost. So these are random locations. They can be in certain furniture, but I don't know which one. So I'm looking at the bottom right corner above the Game Boy Horror there. There's a blue light now. When I go into a room with a Boo in it, it'll turn yellow. And when I'm really close to the Boo, it'll turn red. But it kind of lies sometimes, so I have to go off of intuition. A little bit, like that first spot in the other room didn't flash. There's a lot of RNG here, minor RNG to where the Boos spawn. So you can
it looks like you're doing something with your vacuum as well as you're trying to inhale those Boos. Is there a specific technique you use?
Oh yeah, this was one of the first tricks found in the game that really revolutionized how speedrun. This is called R pumping or Boo pumping. And there's a trait of the Boos when they first enter Luigi's vacuum stream or exit it, is they kind of do an animation, laugh at him, and redirect where they're going. And normally in casual play that makes them really unpredictable. They fly all over the room and just zoom around, and they're really hard to get without chasing them into another room. But we can abuse that by constantly turning off and turning on the vacuum stream while holding the blow function. So we alternate blowing and sucking with the vacuum, and that locks the Boos in this animation and prevents them from moving anywhere. We just do that every 10 HP. And I always tell people, if you're ever interested in playing this game again casually, please learn how to do that, because catching Boos is very miserable. That's our 5th Boo. We're counting, we are. EGAD sure is, and now he's going to give us that key. Behind the scenes, he's going to unlock a door for us, and now we're able to progress. Most of this game is kind of just going to the next thing that is unlocked. There's not a lot of branching paths in this game, especially early on. So this room is now openable. Go in here, say hello to Toad, take the key out of the toilet that he put in there, and then immediately look at this mirror and say goodbye to Toad.
No, this part always breaks my heart. The poor Toad.
Yeah, it's just as bad with the one in the lobby that's always there. You never go and talk to him. Gonna be monitoring for some other random events, one of which is a golden mouse. Call those out when I see them. They just have a chance to spawn in certain locations. Didn't get one back there. 3 more chances to get that one though. Again, trying to make sure that Luigi does not get scared when these guys spawn right next to him. I am turning on the Game Boy Horror. More grabber ghosts so we can throw them together. And right after I get this next set, we're going to try to do another skip. Where we don't have to listen to EGAD and don't have to do a little puzzle in this room to get out. Because normally you can't escape this place. Good luck. Boo first try, so we're gonna pull this thing out of the chest. Catch this guy at the same time we touch this. I'm gonna have to move. We're good. Now we're holding it while EGAD's talking to us, and I didn't save, so I don't get to do the warp. I'm sorry. Now he's gonna tell us all about it. I mashed through with B. Normally I'm able to save with that prompt from catching the Boo, and we don't get to see this. This saves a minor amount of time. If you do get it. We're again gonna get to see the DLC in here. Now we get to control fire ghosts, because that is the fire medallion. Do that little puzzle. Normally we can just warp out of there and come back. Do have to do this puzzle regardless though, because we get a key from it. This is the fortune teller's room. We'll be back in here later for an important story-related development. But we can't do anything in there yet. That's the teaser.
When you're going through the hallways, your light's always pointed up. Is there a certain reason for that?
Yeah, we're doing that to avoid things spawning. There's ceiling ghosts and also ghosts in that spawn at floor level. We want to make sure, like here, Luigi's facing the center of the spawn point, so that if he's looking at it, they can't spawn. That also applies to the ceiling. If he's looking up, they don't spawn. So we do some very precise turning throughout the hallways to make sure that none of that happens. And I think you do have to have the flashlight on, like just aiming up with, say, fire or your vacuum doesn't do it. So now that we got fire, we lit those candles in the hallway, and you might have noticed that it's made a guy show up. That's the butler, that is Shivers, and he is very angry now because he's got fire in his hands. So he is on his way down that hallway just the way we came, all the way to the room next to me. I meant to get that guy. Let's see if I can get him real quick. We're trying to race against the clock until he sits down. I'm gonna have to get him now. Wasted a little too much time in there. Ideally, I can get a couple things done before he sits down. And if we miss that cycle, we're gonna have to go back all the way in the hallway to light his candles again. Really don't want to make sure that we miss, or we really want to make sure that we don't miss that cycle. I didn't do the thing either because I was slow. I think we're still fine. So I'm gonna open that mouse hole and then catch this boo while I'm going through it. Pop in here, and we don't get any text box because in Japanese version that is a glitch. It allows us to skip EGAD's normal call afterwards. We're gonna do the same thing on the way out here. Toast all these guys and set up for a triple. Clear that room. Get a whole bunch of money in here because it's the first optional room in the game. Loads of money in here. Find the boo that's living in here. He's in there. And hopefully we catch him on the way out in the same way we got in here.
While we're doing that, I'd like to shout out that we got another $25 donation, this time from Caitlin Flynn. No comment on that one, but thank you again for your support.
That's my Katie. Thank you. My wife.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Oh no, don't lose this guy. My life flashed before my eyes. I lost him yesterday and I was not happy.
Oh no. Glad you got him today.
We got him. So that room's those set of 3 rooms is pretty hectic. There's a lot going on there, and it's kind of all time-based. It's cycle-based, so if you miss one thing, you get behind and you can't do everything you want to do. Like I missed a gem back there that I didn't get into Shiver's room fast enough to get, so I'm a little behind on money right now. I'm going to be constantly looking at that number in the bottom right corner. Got 176 bills, which is pretty good. But if I need to get some bonus stuff later, I will definitely make the option play. This is Melody. This is the music room. She is the piano playing ghost. She's going to play us a song. That's the good one. This is the water theme from Mario 1. We like it in speedrunning because it's fast, but I also like it because it's in 6/8 and you get to like rock to it. You defeat her music sheets and she shows her heart. In the vacuum she goes. Hopefully the boo is here. Best spot it can be. It is. Gonna skip that medium pearl back there regrettably. Thought I was gonna get it. So I've skipped 2 mediums at this point. And I do think I need a little more fire than I currently have. I'll make a stop in the kitchen, which is next. I'm completely out. And here we have another cycle-based section. The first optional portrait ghost, this is Mr. Lugs. He is the glutton ghost. So we're going to steal his food without actually defeating the butlers trying to bring him more. Because you can just do that. We're going to let him throw a tantrum while we come in here. Clean up this area. I have not been able to hit that guy with the fire very well lately. He's still going to town back there. I'm listening to what cycle he's on. He does 3 attacks per cycle.
I did get another update that there was a comment for the last donation. Comment said, Luigi says trans rights! Love you, Spud. And there's a heart with the trans flag emoji in it.
Love you too.
Thanks for working with us on this new donation system, everyone. Appreciate it. Again, !donate in chat if you would like to donate as well.
I don't think I'm going to be able to get that cycle. He's vulnerable right now, so I would have had to wait anyway, and the way it works out, you guys going to talk, and I still gotta wait, so... Get some... Nope, no free money for me. 4, I think. That was 5. Ideally, you do everything in those other 2 rooms perfectly fast, and you come in here right as he's vulnerable, and you don't waste any time. We had to wait for a cycle. We're just going to ignore the boo and everything else in that room, because we're going to come back through here later. And 100% we do get more boos than the other categories do, because we do need all 50. Come on, plant. There we go, barely. But we also like revisit this area in particular a couple times, so we can route in a little different revisits. This is spooky. I think he's implied to be Mr. Lugs' dog. We're gonna feed him that bone at a perfect spot. Immediately make him show his heart. Get out of there really fast. Had to make sure I watered that plant over there on the right, because for 100% we need money, and that plant eventually gives us a golden diamond, which is worth 20 million G, I guess. Which is 20% of the entire money requirement of the entire run. Whoa.
I've always been confused by the concept of a ghost skeleton. Like, I feel like ghosts and skeletons are usually distinct horror creatures, and somehow this game just decided to throw everything out the window and throw them together.
I really like the ghost skeletons. They're a little underused in this game. I think there's only 3 rooms, and we just saw 2 of them with skeletons in it. There's a lot of ghosts that don't get a lot of love, I think, in this version, but the PAL version is like a ROM hack, and if you've ever played that, you know that they throw everything at you constantly, and a lot of the skeletons and weird ghosts get a lot more love there. This is Bogmire. This is the boss of Area 2. Bogmire is kind of like Chauncey, where he'll throw you off after a time limit is reached, but his timer is a lot longer than Chauncey's, so he doesn't actually pose too much of a problem for a 1 cycle. Very good move. Holy crap, that was some good movement from him. Easy 1 cycle. Right into the wall.
Well done.
And now we're done with Area 2.
Awesome. While we're talking to EGAD, wrapping up this area, I'd like to remind everyone why we're here if you're joining us later. Corathon is a mutual aid fundraiser raising money for Cora. Cora is a friend of the community who is looking to move to a place who will accept her for who she is. Due to the anti-trans legislation in the state of Texas, Cora needs help with moving expenses so that she can safely move to a state with LGBTQ+ friendly laws and communities. We are here putting on this marathon to support and provide for a trans friend in need, and we are so grateful for any donations that you can provide to help. Type !donate in chat to donate. I know for me, I've been seeing way too much news over the last year plus about how awful things are in different states, legislation coming out that's just horrific. And I've always been wondering, what could I do to help? I want to help. I hate that this is happening. Obviously, I'm not a legislator, but this is one of those things that you can do to help. If you've been seeing those news articles, if you've been wondering how you can help people in this period of time, !donate is a great way to support. And of course, we also have lots of incentives. When you donate through either method, you can leave a comment. We'll read those comments out on air, and you can let us know in that comment if you'd like us to put your donation towards one of our incentives. Again, Shadow of the Colossus, Pet the Horse, coming up a bit later, as well as some extra tracks for SSX Tricky. Just mention where you'd like your incentive to go when you donate, and you can use !incentives in chat to see the full list. Thanks, everyone.
I heard the reason this marathon is being put on, and personally understand what it's like to move away from a state just to escape stuff like that. So I jumped at the opportunity to be able to help out with this. I've been wanting to do more for a while, and I'm glad I was able to. So I did say I was going to go back to the kitchen and the dining room later to water that plant, but I walked right by that door, and you might be saying, why didn't you go back? Because there's actually something else we need to go do over there later as well. We incorporate that revisit into also picking up the ice element, which is very convenient because there's only 2 places to get ice right now, and that's one of them in the refrigerator. So we're going to do basically the entirety of Area 2 before we go back and water that plant, for efficiency's sake.
I love watching speedruns of this game because, like, Luigi's having one of the most traumatic moments of his life. Mario's trapped in a painting, and we're like, yeah, we're going to talk about kitchens and refrigerators right now. He's fine. We'll fix this later.
Luigi is completely traumatized by the end of this run. And we just kind of make fun of him for going slow. I've been picking up a couple items along the way. That was the letter. We got Mario's hat earlier. Those are there's 5 of Mario's items that we need to get by the end of this area. It's kind of like the gimmick of Area 3. So you'll be seeing 3 more of those. This is our second optional portrait ghost. This is Biff Atlas. He's the bodybuilder. Luigi, as the protagonist, is going to bully him. Walk on this treadmill with style.
Please don't try walking on a treadmill like that at home unless you are very experienced and/or Luigi.
I'm neither of those things, so... He can cause a couple problems. He pulls pretty hard, but... No Boo over here. I'd be stoked to see him move. Boos can move between the furnitures. I think they're both on the right over here, unfortunately. There he goes. Wait for me to walk all the way over there, of course. That lightning is going to lag the game when that happened, so I have to adjust my rhythm of my R pumps to be a little slower so that I don't waste potential damage there. That was unintentional. I just shot a water ball through the floor to extinguish this burning door up here before I can get to it. So it's all the way out by the time I actually walk up those stairs. Now we're going to catch a guy off the ceiling, because it's fast, and also cool. Finish this cycle right in front of this chest. And here's our ice medallion. After every medallion that you get, does love to talk to you. Tell us how it works. This is one of the 2 places we can get ice, but because we're going to be able to go back in the kitchen, it is on the... Oop, now it's here. I love it when boos move right back into the thing you just checked. But because we're going to go back in the kitchen later to get the ice, we do not have to come back into this room ever. So we're going to make sure we get everything we can before we leave. The red gems are very important because they're worth 1 million each, the same as a large pearl. So we're going to be picking up most of those throughout the run. I think we get like 6 of the 8 or something. Also, that little spin I did in the hallway is very deliberate. It makes none of those 3 things spawn and hurt Luigi. This is Nana. We're going to shoot the yarn balls at her. because she fights back too, it's fair. Oh, finger slipped. She actually pulls really hard. So gotta be a little careful. She can get away from you. She's very strong for, I think, like 80-year-old grandmother. Once again, we are plagued with bad boo luck. Both of them are over here on the right. It's a very long room, so that wastes a lot of time having to walk all over there. The best place it can be is by the door.
I like how we wasted the boost time back, just making it stare at nothing while we picked up that key. Like, it waited patiently before we finished that.
Certain things lock the camera, or the, the gameplay. So if you pick up a gem, if you pick up a key, it kind of pauses everything and you can't move while Luigi does the animation of holding it. Except things can despawn while you're doing that. So if you have any key or any coins or dollar bills in the background while you're picking up those important things, they'll just flash and despawn. So if you're really trying to get everything, you have to be very careful about when you pick up big things. Because things in this game do not respawn. If you miss a coin or something, it's never coming back. Cleaned up Petunia there. She doesn't like cold showers, so of course Luigi being a jerk hits her with the ice. Swap our ice for fire. Come in here, do a twirl, and I think my angle's good to spawn both guys at the same time. Nope. Surprise. That one was pretty good. Felt good. And I don't think I'm going to be able to get that double because he punched. But to force these two guys to spawn, I'm going to do a spin. Spinning turns your back to all parts of the room at once, and because ghosts only spawn behind Luigi, you technically can make everything spawn at the same time. Ditto here. Set up a double by burning that back guy. Overall pretty clean. This boo can be a jerk. I'm gonna be very careful with my R pumps because this guy's very fast. He can just leave the room. So the Chauncey one cycle trick, I need to get that money, is basically a frame perfect R pump. It's the exact same mechanic. And the closer you can get to doing that on every single R pump, the less chance the boos have to move. Because if there's only one frame in between you letting go and repressing the vacuum button, there's no chance for the boo to actually move in between being damaged. So if I lose a boo at any point, or something happens where I have to go chase one before I know it's gonna leave on purpose, it's because I probably didn't R pump well enough. Perfect angle at the start. This is not the real moon. Did get really blessed with good RNG on that ghost falling down.
I'm glad you clarified it's not the real moon as it explodes violently.
Yeah, hopefully not. Otherwise, the Mario world is going to be in a real pickle. So, I don't know if the moon is actually a ghost. The ghosts, the things that are the little yellow things that fall like the stars, are actually ghosts. They have eyes and everything. So I'm not sure if you're fighting a ghost moon with ghost stars, but could be.
I can't tell if that thought is adorable or haunting.
It's also interesting because if you think about it, that room is past this stairwell, like where that star was, so I don't know where in the mansion it's actually located. Most of this is implied to be an illusion, but that's really the only room that kind of suspends disbelief on where it actually is. It's also an observatory in the center of the mansion. It's on floor 2 of 3. So we went upstairs first because we got 2 keys while we were up there. We got one in Nana's room, we got one in Petunia's room. Petunia's room key unlocks this room. This is the billiards room. And please give me good RNG. Okay, that's not great. Oh boy. And it's gone. Yeah. That red cue ball, or that red billiard ball flew right into the table and disappeared. So you do have to hit Slim over here 3 times. We're gonna get some bonus money while we're waiting for him to go around the table again and break us off another 3. If you're good or get lucky, you can get all 3 in the first cycle. That's another run killer right there. Slim is kind of a jerk. For me, though, I'm not quite to the point where all these things kill runs. The boo, I think it might be up here. Yeah. So as long as I keep playing well, I think there's totally still potential for me to personal best here, live. This is also the point where EGAD can start talking more after boos. You might hear me complain about Van Gore text. That's the longest spiel he can give after you catch a boo, where he tells you about the penultimate ghost in the game, Van Gore. That takes forever to mash through. It's pretty obvious when you get it, just because of how long it takes, but it's also marked by, I believe, a colored piece of text in the box, so even though I can't read Japanese, I know it's coming. So we're actually doing some more spinning here, just like in the Astral Hole, to make everything spawn at once. These are grabber ghosts, so we're gonna make our own multiples into a double and a triple here. This room's really fun, because those are actually really easy to do once you figure out the movement. Guy gonna charge me? He almost always does. Where'd he go? Oh, that's rude. Alright. So that's gonna mess up my movement quite a bit. Normally I would warp out of this room, but he went in the hallway. I'm gonna have to go chase him. I was trying to do a save warp there. And because this hallway's lit up, I can actually catch this boo here and not have to chase him any further. We wanted to go to the foyer anyway, so it's not too out of the way. Now we're gonna go use that key that Nana gave us, and finally go revisit this wing of the mansion that we cleared a long time ago, because there's a room over here we didn't ever open. Also home to what I like to call the best sound in the game. We're gonna meet our twins, which I think are supposed to be the children of Neville and Lydia, and also like related to Nana in some way, because she has their key. Summon them by spinning the thing on the... if I can spin it, please. Thank you. Spinning the ceiling thing. This is Henry and Orville. And they make the best sound in the game. I don't know what that noise is supposed to be. I think in English it's subtitled as okay. But I
It
just
kind of
love it.
sounds like a Pikmin that has just a much lower voice than expected.
Yeah, it's kind of got the same Nintendo-y Pikmin vibe. Let me do it one more time. That money flew right out of the bunk bed, which is really good. Usually it gets stuck up there. Gotta wait for them to spawn, so we just get that speedy spirit while we're waiting, get some free money. And I get Orville here second, because he's the one that drops the pearls. Don't want Henry to interfere. Spawn that boo. Nice. Gonna miss that pearl, probably. Luigi likes to lock onto stuff, so he might... yeah. He wanted it too bad, so I got it anyway. Once he gets his mind to like locking onto a heart or a pearl or something, you really can't. Unless you turn the vacuum off, he's not gonna look away from it. I think it's in the painting. It's not in the painting. Now it's definitely not.
He was really good at hide and seek.
This has been an okay split for me. This is a really, really random split. Depending on where the boos are, you can save probably plus or minus 40 seconds if things go really right. I'm gonna try to do my one and only cloth skip here. So if you catch a boo in this game, lightning, and right after you catch the boo, you suck up a piece of cloth like that bed sheet. It tricks EGAD into thinking you didn't actually catch the boo, so he doesn't call you. So
Like how we also warped into that mirror through a bedpost. That was incredible.
Yeah, that bedpost doesn't exist. Now we get, like, 3 minutes of mashing, so donations galore, please.
You got it. Wanted to let everyone know that with this fundraiser, the way that we sort of set everything up, Cora has actually estimated the cost it takes to move. And this is something where Cora already has a plan for when, after the move itself. In the GoFundMe, you can actually see much more detail about the plan and sort of what's going on and all of the details. But one thing to note is that Cora's already been hired to work with multiple notable music and marching band programs in Denver. So there is a plan for after this move. All we need to do is get Cora out of Texas. This is to help us cover the moving costs. Now, Cora's estimated the cost needed at 10K has already saved up 2K of her own, but we do need to help with that remaining $8,000. Now, with previous efforts and our help today, we are at $2,430 towards this goal, which is fantastic. Again, all these donations are helping someone escape a situation that no one should ever be in. So thank you so much for your support. And 55 of that was already just today. I'm so excited about how great of a start we're off to for the event. Want to remind you that this event is going to be all day today, and it's going to be going on Sunday tomorrow as well. Right now, we've got Luigi's Mansion. We'll be having Death's Door up next, followed by Lunistis, Sly Cooper, Shadow of the Colossus, and plenty more. Keep in mind that we do have incentives open throughout the week for different games. Ones for today include the Shadow of the Colossus Pet the Horse and SSX Tricky bonus tracks, so make sure to mention those when you donate.
So many good games on the docket. I was honestly really impressed with the list of games. Not just because I'm on it. I love seeing games like a little lesser known, like Super Paper Mario doesn't get a lot of marathon love, and I'm excited to see that one. Alright, it is time to finally go back into the dining room here. Because we have done everything else we need to do in Area 3. We collected all 5 of Mario's items. We got the medium ghost Clairvoya to divine what happened to Mario from those items, even though we know exactly what happened to Mario. He's in the basement. And after she was done telling us our fortune, which we didn't need to know in the first place, she gave us a key, which we actually do need. So now that we have that key, we can finally go upstairs to the 3rd floor for the first time. But on the 3rd floor, there is a ghost that is weak to ice, so we need the ice before we go up there. I'm gonna make a trip back here, water this plant one more time. Gotta make one more trip back there to collect the money later. Grab this ice on the way by because we already opened the fridge. And we'll make our way upstairs. Probably squeeze in another donation if you got one.
Anytime. Again, !donate is the way to donate in the chat. There are 2 different methods to donate today that I want to remind you about. One would be to contribute to the GoFundMe. That's one of the first links. And the other one is via Venmo if you'd like to donate more directly. Either of those will go through to us. You can leave a comment on either of them. If you are donating via Venmo, you do want to make it public so we can see that comment and shout you out live on air. But when you leave those comments, you can put it towards incentives. You could just say hi. You could just say that you're enjoying the marathon. One of my favorite donation comments to read is always trans rights. Beautiful classic donation comment. So feel free to get your donations in with whatever comment you would like.
These are the guys that are weak to ice. Gonna shoot that guy with the ice before he fully spawns in, so he doesn't actually get damaged by it, but he loses the protection. Same here. Because it's much faster to actually hit ghosts with flashlight and suck them up that way than to burn them down entirely with element. Oh, I messed up my movement. We're fine. One more push of that garbage can ghost. The last one of those you're gonna see. For a double. It's a shame they're not in more rooms. Really, Luigi, stop looking at the heart, dude. That was a really good room. We're almost to the end of Area 3 here. We're going to fight our Area 3 boss ghost, which is Bulossus. And this seems to be always the most impressive part of the game to people who have played this game casually, or maybe have seen bits and pieces of Luigi's Mansion, is beating Bulossus in one cycle. Always seems to, like, garner a whole lot of, like, reactions. People are always really excited to see the strat because it's honestly so simple.
Yeah, but it looks heckin' awesome. I'm
Oh,
excited. Chat, I hope you're excited for this fight too.
So this is definitely not 15 boos in a trench coat, even though it actually is. They're gonna coalesce into one form and attack us. And these guys actually don't have a health bar like all the other boos in the game, so we're gonna get 15 boos on our counter for free after this boss fight, because there are actually 15 boos. And if only we could catch them all this fast, life would be a lot easier for Luigi. So for this boss fight, we're just gonna walk straight right. As soon as he bounces once, we're gonna walk straight down. Bounce again, walk left. He pops himself, we get that ice ball. Aim straight right and a little bit up. And then we're gonna shoot an ice ball, boom. Spray a little more. Didn't do great there, got 4 left. Gonna need at least 2 more, come on. Come on, friend. Come on. Ah, I didn't get him. No one cycle. So we're gonna have to pop him one more time. And now we're gonna do something to make them charge us. Like that. And then we do like a pivot and like shoot the ice at them as they drive by. Get those last 2 guys really easily. That boss fight casually is a nightmare. So finally learning that strat made this fight so much more enjoyable.
Yes, I remember spending way too much time chasing individual boos around that arena, trying to get them to come towards me, almost dying. It's great, but I love the speedrun strat, it's so cool. How long did it take you to learn things like that trick or other parts of the speedrun?
That in particular, I think, did take me a couple tries watching people. Some of the strats are very easy. Boo pumping was probably a like first or second try learning, say, oh, this is how you do it. Okay, it's easy to do. This game is very beginner friendly, actually. I originally made my own route for the speedrun when I learned it, and probably beat the game in about 2 hours, and then I actually looked up a route and beat it in about an hour and a half, and anything less than that requires very minimal optimization, as long as you just know where to go.
Are each of the areas the same length? I know we just finished up Area 3. We've got Area 4 left. What are we going to look forward to when we get to that part of the game?
So I think that the areas are... I think they get longer as they go on. Area 3 and 4 are probably comparable in length, but 1 and 2 are very short. 1 is like 6 or 7 minutes long, if I recall. And Area 4 has definitely the most RNG-heavy parts of the run, and probably the hardest parts of the run, aside from the other glitches and like tricks like Chauncey One Cycle I pointed out. So we're going to make our final trip over to this plant, and then we're going to start the gauntlet of Area 4. This is where runs go to die. This is where hopes and dreams of personal best just wither.
Unlike that plant, very nice.
Yeah, the plant is not withering. It is flourishing, and it just gave us a golden diamond. 1 of 2 in the game. We'll be seeing another one when we catch the 50th boo. And 100% is really... Playing the 100% category and other categories that catch all the boos is what really makes Area 4 really difficult. There's some tough parts in any percent no out of bounds for Area 4, because you pick and choose which boos you catch a little more deliberately. You don't just get them all. But so if you miss a specific one, it's really run over. But for this run, we get to deal with the wonderful Clockwork Room boo and Telephone Room boo. Both of them just love to kill runs. The attic in Area 4 is a pain. So we're going to do our best. We're actually not going to be able to get in there quite yet, because we're about to trigger the blackout. The blackout, probably the most memorable part of the game if you made it this far, and then immediately quit, as I'm sure a lot of people did. I know I did as a kid, because it's scary as heck. If you don't know what you're doing, of course. Really,
I will say that I had this strategy guide as a kid, so I kind of knew what I was doing, and I was still terrified.
Yeah, I think what you're supposed to do is trigger this cutscene, and then you're supposed to go into the telephone room, and then Egad calls you on the phone to tell you... I don't know why he calls you on the phone, because he has the Game Boy Horror. But he tells you that some ghost stole the key to the breaker room, and you need to go catch him. And that ghost likes rooms with mirrors, which is really, really vague, because there's a lot of mirrors in this game. And there's even a room called the Mirror Room that he's not in, for some reason. So... if you don't know where to go, you go all over the place, die, can't save because during the blackout all the toads go away. You'll notice the one in the foyer is gone. That is not the door, Luigi. So we're gonna warp right back down to the start of the game because our friend Uncle Grimly, who stole the key, is in the wardrobe room of all places. I think in the 3DS version remake of this game, they clarified that he likes rooms with wardrobes and mirrors, which there's only one of those in the game, if you've been paying attention. Trying not to spawn those guys turned a little too much. I switched to sidestep mode during this part so that I could adjust my angle. He's a jerk unless he... okay. That was really early. He showed his heart while I was in the other room, and he can just stop doing that before I get in the room. But that was ideal.
Fantastic.
He is completely random, whether he shows his heart or not. Seeing people spend... oh, that mirror is betraying me again. That mirror just does not work sometimes during the blackout. Seeing people sit there for like 40 plus seconds waiting on Grimly is always sad. No golden mice this game. Unbelievable. Didn't even get to talk about our friend Angie, the RNG mouse. That my auto captions don't understand the acronym RNG, so affectionately got named Angie.
That's so cute. I love that name.
Okay, so if you're playing any % no out of bounds, this is the run killer Varia 4. So we're going to try to get this guy to charge us. He's not cooperating. This is not going to be easy. This is the breaker room Boo, which is technically possible to one cycle, even though he has 200 HP. I didn't pull him across the room, yeah. Because Boos automatically leave once they take 15 cackles, which is every time we do an R pump, we force a Boo to cackle. So we get 10 HP every time, and we can ideally get about 150 HP off of the Boo before it decides to leave the room and you just can't catch it anymore. So Boos with more than 150 HP are really hard to one cycle, if not impossible. Breaker Room Boo in there is technically possible because you can do a trick against the wall to pull it more HP than usual off, and that room is also very long, so you can coerce it to charge at you across the room and get a whole bunch of free damage as it moves back left. Because the only place it can leave the room is to the left. That room is really slick. Got out of the cellar immediately because we found the Boo, and honestly, if we're fast enough, we might come back in here and not see our friend because he didn't actually go back in there. He can choose to go into the breaker room again, and I could have picked him up there, or he could have gone into the pipe room, which we'll see later. Either way, we go upstairs and start heading towards the fabled attic. Probably, oops, 1 or 2 more donations, if you want.
All right, I want to remind everyone we do have a few options for donating. You can donate through our GoFundMe campaign that we have linked through !donate in chat, or you can donate directly to Cora's Venmo as an alternate option to avoid any GoFundMe fees using !Venmo in chat as well. Whichever option you feel most comfortable with, we have something available for everyone to donate to an amazing cause. Thank you so much. I'll also shout out that Corathon was put together as an impromptu event and could not have been possible without the help of all the volunteers, runners, and most importantly, you, the viewers and donors. We appreciate any and all support that you can give Cora in her time of need so that we can help someone move to a place that will respect and protect marginalized communities. Make sure to type !schedule in chat to see what you can look forward to this weekend. And in addition to an amazing cause, you can type !incentives in chat to see our open incentives that you can make happen with your donations.
Oops, did not hit that guy with the water somehow. We're gonna see if we can make this a little... nope, we're not gonna get the double today. Normally I hit that guy with the water and I pause him. Come back, please. Thank you. The skeletons were a little rude. That's the last room we're gonna see the skeletons in. And I'm looking at my money right now. I got 341 bills, which is honestly pretty low since I've already gotten that chest and the plant outside. I expect to see probably more like 360. So I'm going to probably start stopping for a little extra bonus money in places so that I have enough to finish the game with A rank. Catching all the portrait ghosts in one cycle helps. These are the clockwork soldiers. These are one of the hardest ghosts of one cycle if you don't know how to pull in ghosts really well. I had a lot of problems with this boss in a casual play. Pulling them into the wall so that they can't do like spin around you movement really simplifies this. You just keep tapping up and to the left. So I only got 4 large pearls left. If I can get all of those, I'm much less worried about the money, but I always assume that one's gonna go wrong and I might only end up with 18. I'll switch to fire here, and then we're gonna have a Shy Guy barbecue.
So I wasn't expecting the phrase Shy Guy barbecue when I woke up today, but here we are.
We got the fire because these guys are weak to it. Oh, hello. No double for me again. Didn't mean to bump that guy. That can go so much stronger. So much more wrong, though. Instead of bumping, I could have gotten punched, and then one of them goes away, and it just snowballs. Getting doubles is so important to going fast in this game, making sure that you actually catch 2 ghosts at once so that the cycles stay, like, on point. And it's totally worth wasting, like, 3 or 4 seconds to set up a double because it can snowball so bad. So here's our first taste of bad 3rd floor shenanigans. There's a boo over here, I think. Unless I'm just completely off base, and I probably am. Did he move? He did. The chair. This is the clockwork boo, 300 HP, so it's impossible to one cycle. So I'm going to be very deliberate with my R pumps to see if I can make him go down. He's trying to go left right now, which is bad. There we go. Very good. I'm gonna see if we can get this second half. Okay. That one's been causing me a lot of problems lately. So happy I got that.
Very nice. That was fantastic.
So I can tell there's something under the table, the cloth there, but I did hear the boo move in the background while I was doing that other fight, so he's definitely not in the tablecloth. So we're gonna skip that other boo right now. We're gonna go back through that room and get a more favorable chance to catch that dude. This is the armory room. This is the laggiest room in the game. There's just too much in this room for the GameCube, especially as a launch title. I think they just went overboard with geometry in this room. So when too many things are on screen, like if I spawn money accidentally, we're gonna start seeing a whole lot of lag. And part of doing this room fast is getting that triple for one, which I'm glad I got. The other half is making sure that you don't spawn too many things. Nope. Please be up here. Oh, it is. Didn't spawn the money. This guy is very particular with a one cycle because he has exactly 150 HP, and the room is laggy, which messes with the rhythm of the R pumps because it's dependent on where the HP thresholds are. No, come back. Oh, that's bad.
Oh, that was so rude. Oh my goodness.
So if this guy goes back left, it's not as bad. Thank you. Pick him up, no problem, because I do have to go back around those armor pieces anyway. It's not too bad. If he'd gone up, it would have been pretty disastrous. Want to catch him before he goes and hides again, because if we have to go looking for boos, we're wasting time. So we're going to try to catch all of these boos, and if not one cycle, then at least one pass, where we kind of follow them to the next room and immediately get them. Which is why it would have been so bad for the one in the clockwork room to move. This is probably my favorite portrait ghost. This is our friend Jarvis. All the ghosts in this game, all the portrait ghosts especially, have kind of lore on how they came to be, what they're doing here, their past life, and say how old they were when they passed away, and all that kind of interesting information. And Jarvis here just has question marks for his age, his origins. Nobody knows where he's from. He's just here and he likes jars, and he calls you Boyo, which is adorable. think I paused the game while he was trying to talk to me because I picked up that gem. There he is. Jarvis has some weird movement, so we're going to convince him to go this way. He should behave after that. Nope, he changed directions on us. Okay. I have lost Jarvis's large peril more than once, so I respect his... like, how tricky he can be. I think the boo is on the bottom, but now it's definitely on the bottom because it moved. Did not get that gem. I'm gonna need that. I don't want to get interrupted during the boo pull, so like, if I need to pick stuff up, I gotta make sure that I get everything before I start pulling the boo in. Oh dear, no, you go down, please. Thank you. That guy going into the hallway to the right is a problem, so we're gonna see if... get him before he goes back in there. Oh, I did a lot of boo pumps there I didn't mean to do. I think we're okay. Okay. Lightning can also strike while you're in the armory room, which lags it further. I need ice. I'm going to make a detour just because I think things will go much more wrong if I don't get it. I think even that little detour is actually going to save me time overall. Because ice is one of the best elements against boos. I know there's not a boo in there. The right side. Oh, I got trolled. I think it's on the left. Yep, it was. Missed it. And ice will freeze the boos in place, which our pumping kind of already does, but for this guy especially because he's so fast, it helps a lot to one side or two cycle this one. Okay, he went up with exactly 150. This is going to be tough. This is the last boo up here, though, so if I can get him and get out of here pretty fast, because I overall have a very successful third floor.
Yeah, great job.
So if I didn't spend a lot of time looking for that dude in the telephone room, that would have been a really insane third floor for me. That one little problem of looking around in that room for a little extra time ate up a bunch of it. I'm still coming out on top, though. My splits are looking pretty good. There's still a chance to PB.
Exciting! You got this.
It's going to take a lot of work, though. There's our Angie. Our random bonus mouse. That one gives us $40 bills. A lot of lag because those bills are on screen. Oop, yeah, I got that guy. Messed that up a little bit. So now my money woes from earlier are completely abated. Where is this guy? Blue guys are very, very, very slow, so if I don't know where he is, I can't just stand in place and let him come to me. And that's the primary reason I went back to go get ice. Didn't get that room perfectly, but trying to catch that guy in the ceiling without ice is a big pain. Usually when we want to clear those guys out, we get an element and just shoot it at them. Because they have 0 health, they immediately kind of fade away. There's no need to try to set those up with doubles or anything. We'll see a couple more of those later. So the key we got in the armory room, we did a lot of stuff in the third floor. Most of it was catching boos, but we did get a key in the armory room, and that key unlocks something way down here. I'm gonna come back through here. And follow our chain of progress here. Gonna meet our friend the Breaker Boo soon again too, because he went into this room earlier. We're gonna try to freeze this river while hitting these guys. Please freeze the river, thank you. Oh, I'm gonna have to catch him. Didn't get that last 5 HP. Every time I take damage too, especially like unexpected damage like this, those green guys hitting me, those that guy grabbing me and trying to hurt me, I lose coins, which is not the end of the world. Oh, I still need to catch him. But if I'm really close on money, if I know my money route is really tight, I don't want to be losing random coins here and there. Okay, gotta light up the room in 100% because the boos are in here. You gotta catch all the boos. This is the breaker room boo from earlier, so only 56 HP. Really straightforward to catch. This guy doesn't move, he should be down here. And I know I said that you can only do 150 HP in one pull on most boos. This is not most boos, this is Bouffant. This is the slowest boo in the game. So we can actually just walk this guy all the way around the room. And slowly chip away for a ton of damage. Nice one cycle.
Very well done. GG on that.
That improves the PB chances immensely. So we got our key in there that unlocks this door. Swap our ice for fire. And this is probably the trickiest portrait ghost in the game. It's not optional. This is Weston. And most of his gimmick is mostly just that there's an ice floor, and that messes with how Luigi moves. So he has some erratic movement, but he doesn't actually pull that hard. The ice floor makes it kind of go all over the place though. Got out of there. No problem though. Okay, the boo moved. It is up here. Do a little slide.
I love that one particular slide where you just kind of slowly move off screen while you're celebrating that key. It's so beautiful.
Got a double cackle. I want this guy to go to the right. So he's definitely going to leave before I can take him out. And now I want him to come back in this room. Okay, with that, I think we're going to be really pressed to get the PB. It's still going to be a good run. Getting out of attic very well and getting the save or peer, because that's the last thing we need to do down here. Save and quit. Be on our way. Overall, pretty good. Now we've pretty much done everything we need to do to just blitz through the rest of the game. There's no more side tracks, or no more like backtracking all the way back down to the... Oopsie, okay. Down to the basement. We got our key from Weston, which unlocks the room to the artist studio where Van Gogh is. Egad never told us about Van Gogh. He still has 2 more chances, because the last optional thing we get to do is go catch Sue P, who is probably the hardest portrait ghost to get to, because the key to her room is in this room right there with the boards on it. You get that key from the sealed room and it unlocks this, which is the sitting room. It's a little loud. Nothing I can do about that. Sorry for the ears. Gotta swap element mid-room here. Whoops. Missed him. Might still get this double. Good. We go through all that rigmarole of going through the sealed room to get to here. Our final optional portrait ghost. Her lore is, her name is Sue P, which is kind of sounds like sleepy, and which is why she sleeps a lot, but it also sounds like Sue P, like she wets the bed. So, both of those things she hates. She likes to sleep, and she likes to not wet the bed, so Luigi is going to douse her in water and wake her up, because, you know, he's the good guy. This is for Mario.
I love the justification of the actions taking place on screen right now.
Okay, she is very tricky to catch. Got out of there. The puppets can hit you and break you off. It's the only boss, it's the only, other than Weston, the only portrait ghost where you can get hit in mid. I guess Jarvis too, a little bit. That one's really tricky though, because like Slim, she has a very, very small angle on what constitutes pulling away from her, so you have to be very precise. Whoopsie. So I'm gonna do a lot of bad R pumping here on purpose, so that we get about 20 HP and that poo is gone. Because we're gonna try to set up a double with booze. The only place really where you can do this. There's another opportunity that's much harder to do here. On both of these, first try. Oh, that's bad HP. I did not mean to let him go at 30. They are closer though, so we still might be able to get this. Ah, got him to 0, didn't get the double. It's a bit of a shame that Booze can run away at 0. Never got Van de Gore-Tex, though. Egad never told us about our friend upstairs. So now that we're done with all that, got the money, got the gem, got the pearls. Go to our final portrait ghost of the game that's not a boss ghost, I guess. Van Gore. We can probably get a donation here while he monologues.
All right, and remember, donate in chat if you would like to support this event, if you would like to support our friend Cora as she tries to escape Texas and its completely oppressive legislation for somewhere much safer. Everyone deserves the right to be who they are and to exist without the fears that come with all the different things that have been going on in the US. So if you can donate, if you can spare even $5 to help this, it would be so much appreciated. Again, that is donate in the chat.
So Van Gore is a coward, and he fights by painting these ghosts into existence. He's the one that's been responsible for making all these normal ghosts show up, so he's going to throw waves of 3 at us. Mentioned that the PAL version is kind of different a lot of times. In Van Gore, the PAL version throws waves of 5 at you, which is a little absurd. Luckily, we only have to deal with 3. And these guys spawn a little higher off the ground than the rest of them, so I'm going to adjust my angle a little farther up. Now I've got 3 shy guys, which, again, have masks, so we have to pull those off first. All of them. And the garbage can ghosts are very large. And again, you can push them, so... Got all 3 of them. It's a little bit tricky to get all 3 of them in the hitbox of the flashlight. And then these guys, again, die faster if you just shoot them with element. It's much more straightforward. And he basically just gives up. So that is all the portrait ghosts that drop pearls, at least. So we got all 19 pearls in the game, and we got the 1 bonus mouse in the sealed room. So I think we're sitting pretty on money here. The first try Boo, and this is our last Boo in the game. We try to 2-cycle this person. Luigi really loves looking at that heart, so he messed it up. Did not mean to spawn that heart. We're gonna have to settle for a 3-cycle probably. This Boo is also very fast, so I can't really walk it across the room in the same way that I walked the pipe room Boo. And I don't think I'm going to be able to do this because he's all the way over here. Nah. If I can cram myself into that corner, there's a chance that I can spawn the gem fast enough, or close enough to Luigi, that I can touch it during the cutscene when Egad talks to you, which allows me to do a save quit on it, but did not get the save quit. So we have to do the walk of shame over to here so we can warp back out. And now we are on our way to the end of the game. We have all 50 boos, got our diamond, got plenty of money, got our final key from Van Gore to unlock the final door. And King Boo is in the basement as we saw before with Mario. If you want to throw a couple more, like, donations or whatever at me, I'm walking there, please do.
I know, walking to this part of the game, it's just so casual because you're just kind of walking through, but no, the final boss is coming up. I'm so excited for this. Chat, what I'd love to see is, would anyone be willing to donate $50 in honor of the 50 boos that we caught during this run? I think that'd be really cool. I think that'd be a great way to celebrate how fantastic this run has been by Elite Spud and this amazing start to the event. So if that's you, if you're thinking like, wow, I have this $50 and I don't know what to do with it, maybe try donating it in honor of the 50 boos. I would love to see that come through.
So there's a lot of bonus money in the secret altar here that I'm going to completely skip because I know I'm pretty well set. My money count is good, and I know I got an extra blue gem in the billiards room because I had to wait on Slim to go around anyway. So we're just going to walk right up, trigger this cutscene, and fight King Boo. This is the only boss ghost that I don't know how to one-cycle. It's not the last ghost that was found to have a one-cycle. Chauncey actually has that distinction. But King Boo 1 cycle is much harder. I've never practiced it, so I'm going to try to do the 2 cycle. And if I don't really do so well on the first pull of that, I can do a discount 3 cycle as well. It's not too slow. But the 1 cycle demands that you do an insta-shot, as we call it, to shoot Bowser's head while it's flying around when King Boo is active, which resets the cycle and allows you to keep pulling health off of King Boo. And that shot is very RNG dependent and very tough. So we're going to set ourselves here. First cycle has an invisible wall, so we're going to line ourselves up with that line so that we skip it. Try to pull 250 health off here. King Boo is susceptible to R pumping, so we're going to throw in a couple more of those. 250 exactly, that's going to be tough, but doable. Stand in the same place, force him to throw spike balls again. No invisible wall this time, so we just shoot. Time happens when King Boo enters the vacuum. Got the 2 cycle.
Yes! GG. Congratulations. But it's not quite over yet, right? We still have one more thing we have to check.
Yeah, because this is the 100%. The time may end on King Boo, but the money still has to be counted, and we don't actually know how much money we have officially, unless somebody's been tallying it up on a calculator behind the scenes, until EGAD tells us. So he's going to give us one last cutscene, and then we're going to enter the screen where he totals everything up. I think, personally, we're going to hit about 101 million. With that bonus mouse, I think we're going to be about 101 million. It's just a guess. Anything over 100 is good. Any questions in chat or donations that can be read?
I know chat's just been having a lot of fun during this run. You got GGs, you got RNG emotes. Thank you so much for putting this through. Thank you again, everyone, for watching. All of you watching here, spending some of your Saturday with us, it is much appreciated. The more people who hear about this event, the more people who spend time with us, the better we can do to support our friend in need. So if you have other friends you'd like to tell them about this event, you'd like to share it out on social media, that would be so appreciated by us. Everything helps. All of your viewership helps as well. So I'm just so happy that this many people are willing to help us with such a fantastic cause. I'm also just jamming to this music, because the music in this game is very sparse but kind of fun.
Yeah, we've only earned one of our G's so far. You want to say GG, but we haven't counted the money yet, so right now it's just G. If we get 100%, then we can officially say we are in the GG.
Got it. Singular G's in the chat, please, until we get the final money count.
Okay, so 430 is great. 235 is fine on coins. 20 gold bars is okay. Got an extra blue gem. Every other gem that we wanted. Pretty much every pearl that was important. Oh, that was actually really close. Still official, though. Still official. Actual
Yes!
100%.
Chat, you can drop the second G now. We made it.
GG.
GG.
Ah. So, I know we don't have time to watch the credits music, but the music in this game is amazing, especially during the credits. They went all out for, I'm assuming, some good reason. It's amazing. Thank you so much for having me. I have a kitty cat to show before I leave. Yeah, I can't wait to see the rest of the stuff on this this marathon. Thank you so much for watching. Loki says trans rights, and I do too. Shoutouts to Corathon for having me. He's not happy right now. And everybody else who's in the marathon, good luck to you. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for that absolutely incredible run. We're going to be taking a short break, but before long, we're going to be back with Death's Door, an any % run by Thistledew. So make sure you stick around and use that !donate command to figure out how you can contribute to this wonderful event. Thank you.